Let's backtest today's trading for NFP, and I'll just show you how I see it using quarterly theory in my trading. All right, so let's start off at the Friday's Asian Open. I'm going to start on the 15-minute chart. Okay. Now, on the 15-minute chart, so we're going to compare quarter one with quarter four on quarterly theory. Now we also can look at PSP candles, and let's do that. I'm going to change this to compare the right contract, which is a Z contract. All right. Not sure why it's not showing up because this is a PSP candle. All right, and let's. That one's good. Okay. Not sure why that PSP candle is not highlighting, but that is okay. Let's just go over and I'll show you kind of how to find sequential SMT throughout the trading day. Okay, let's move forward. Okay, so here's the opening candle. Now we wait for the 15-minute close. You would want the closure to happen below the candle wick. So if I am looking for sequential SMT, like bullish sequential SMT between Q4 and Q1, so that's afternoon session versus the Asian session, then I would be looking for this on the 15-minute time frame. So let's keep going. You see an SMT. As you can see, YM didn't get below. That is an SMT, but preferably you want to see candle closure down there. Let's see if ES ever does it. So ES, not quite. So look, and we're almost breaching it with YM, so potentially we're not going to see it here. Almost. Okay. Now we see it. Okay, so right here we see bullish sequential SMT between YM and NQ and ES, but that's not really the best SMT is between ES and NQ, but this does help. So this is SMT divergence between YM and NQ, as you can see that NQ is the stronger asset, so you might be looking for longs on NQ. Okay, let's switch to a 5-minute and let's just see if we can find an entry. Now I'm also seeing on the you can look for on the 5-minute for the breakdown of the Asian session. These are the 90-minute cycles, so you can find bullish SMT between here. Let's update this one so we can see it. Let's get rid of this. Okay, I think we're good there. So we are seeing it. This is bullish SMT. So once again, we have another SMT between ES. ES is the weaker asset. So NQ is just screaming that it is the, this isn't quite. So this low is taken too. So I would not, let's get rid of that. And yeah, so we're good. That is not a bullish SMT, but we have our 90-minute cycle SMT where actually, yeah, that's right. So on the 15-minute time frame, this low was not closed below while YM was, so that's our bullish. That is a bullish daily cycle SMT between Q4 and Q1. Okay, let's carry on. All right, so potentially you might be seeing longs in here. And also you want to mark out your true open for Asia, which would be right here. So right now we're kind of in a premium. It's not the best entry, so just so you know. And pretty soon we're getting into London open, but let's just see. So potentially we could have a small long. We're here, we close here. We could have a long right here and aim for a new high and close on that low. So it's a 1-to-1. Let's just see. Yep, okay, so we got it. So that worked out. All right, let's carry on. Let's see what we see next. Okay, so here we have a new quarter. So you're comparing quarter 1 to quarter 2. Now, if you're comparing these daily cycles, that's the daily cycle that lasts 6 hours, you want to look at the 15-minute time frame. Okay, so we have a 15-minute time frame. This is the top on ES, and this is the top on NQ. I would want to see candle closure up above there if I want to see a bearish sequential SMT. Now, one thing that Trader Day talks about is sequential SMT. If you have it on a higher time frame, say you have a weekly cycle, bullish SMT, that if you end up seeing a daily cycle or a lower cycle opposite sequential SMT, just expect a pullback. It shouldn't override the higher time frame sequential SMT. All right, let's see if we get a closure up there. Not exactly. Not looking great. Now it got quite above. Oh, actually, you know what? I guess we got a closure by a tick. So, and this guy kind of double topped up there. So that could be a bearish SMT. And let's see if we get entry. Let's go on a 5-minute. So now the weaker asset is ES. So what we want to do is find an entry here on ES. Let's see. All right, we got 2-minute here. Let's see if we can find an entry here on this bearish FEG. If we can get in. Yep, okay, we're in. Short right here. I would get out if we, let's see, where do we want to aim? So we could potentially aim at this low and this low. So an easy one could be this, which is, what is that? 1-to-1. And then let's come down here. Let's see if we can come here. Let's keep going. Oop. Close one. But yeah, that looks like we got stopped out. Let's just see what we do. What time is this? This is 3 a.m. All right, let's see what else happened. I want to open up here. Let's look at the 90-minute cycles. And I'm going to jump back on the 15-minute time frame. So this one ended up doing the 15-minute close up above, and also, when did this hit above? Yeah, okay. So we'll chalk that one up as a loss. Let's see, where else can we find some SMT? Let's keep going. Okay, I don't see any. So you can find it on the 5-minute chart. You can find it here, in between here. So let's go down to the 5-minute. We'll see what we see. You would want to spot it below this low. If we do see like a bullish SMT, we already got above the highs on all of them. So we're not seeing a bearish SMT there. Okay, and we're not seeing a bullish SMT because this was taken and this was taken and YM was taken. So there's no difference there. They're all kind of in sync. Now we do see one thing here. This is one thing we do see here is there's a gap on ES that's getting touched, and the same gap on YM, or sorry, on NQ is not. You can see this same equal gap is not getting hit. And on YM, it's getting hit on the higher bar. So this formed more gaps. So potentially here, this is kind of like a retrace, and then we should come back down. So in this case, I would think that YM comes down. Now on this day, we do have news right here. No, 6:30? No, 8:30. So we'll just be prepared for that. This is NFP news. So I would think that this could give some resistance for the next bar. This came up. So, and this is kind of like basing here. So that doesn't really look weak, but let's go see. So there's no sequential SMT here, so let's just keep moving on. Okay, it did end up coming down, and that's fine. Let's see where we're at. So there's no sequential SMT here. We are getting kind of low in below a nice swing low in Asia, so it's kind of like a value area. If we do say some bullish SMT, it might be coming up. Let's keep going. This is an SMT right here. So this right here is a sequential SMT on the 90-minute cycles. So you see it here. This is showing that YM is the stronger asset. That wasn't the case for the rest of the day. YM was actually ended up being weaker today. So this should provide a bounce for targets. And if I had my PSP indicator working, then it would be even better. We could find a good entry with the PSP. Let's see. I'm going to see if I can get it working. I don't know why it's not. Yeah, now I got it working. Okay. So we have these purple triangles going to mark out the PSP candles. So what I would do is either this area could be entry if we get up above, or if we form another PSP candle, we could just go off of that. So let's go see what happens. Okay, it reacted down off of it. Okay, now it's above it. I would enter in this PSP candle. Probably at the 50% mark, if we can get there. Yep, we're in it. So now what we should do on this PSP, let's go down here. Let's just see what we can get. If we can get, say, like a new high. Also, we could take it here, which is 36 points up, but let's see what happens. Oh, that's not good. Let's see if we can reclaim. All right, so check this out. We ended up losing, no, not exactly. All right, so we had our sequential SMT, but it ended up, let's go back. Can we go back a few bars? Okay, we had our sequential SMT. Well, let's concentrate on like what happened on YM. How far up did we get? Okay, it took this high here. We did not form any PSP candles, so that's a thing. That's some way we could avoid this, is to wait for a PSP candle. Yep. And then that candle took it further down. Okay. Now we did hit the Asia True Open, which is good. And we should also mark out the True Open for the day, which is at midnight. Okay, so I'll mark that for the day. We'll kind of see how price reacts there. Okay, so being below here, this could be a good entry. If you are bullish on the day, then that could be a value entry down there. But let's kind of see how we go into the New York session, which is Q3. So for Q3, you want to look at the 15-minute time frame to see if we can make any bullish or bearish SMTs. Let's keep going. Okay. Okay, we're kind of, so here's, let's see where's the bottom for London. Okay, so London session, we're kind of cracking the low of all of it. So, but one thing we do see is 15-minute candles we are taking ES low, so we are creating a regular SMT here. I would like to see this 15-minute candle body get below, or potentially have YM get below here. I know NQ doesn't, but let's see kind of how we go. Okay, it looks like we're already recovering, but with this SMT, pretty strongly. Well, I would be curious if we have any 5-minute PSP candles here. I don't see any. We're kind of recovering this one. We did dip below this Asia True Daily Open, and we're coming up on today's open. So good entries would be below these. Let's keep going. Pretty soon news is coming out. Okay, now we formed a high. We've taken the Q1 in this 90-minute cycle. We've taken Q1 high on everything, so we're not forming any SMT up there. That's a small SMT, so here there's some bearish SMT. This is regular SMT, so possibly YM might dip a little more. Maybe a small pullback here on NQ and ES. Let's see. Yep, they're pulling back. YM, check this out. So we made a bullish SMT between NQ and YM. NQ is the stronger asset. NFP is coming out. So let's see what we get. Okay, so they all dipped and then ripped. So it took its liquidity. It went below this Asia True Open for the Asia session. It went below today's True Daily Open. This guy came below the Asia low, and ES formed a new Asia low. Now NQ did not. This is the Asia low, and that was not taken out. So that's bullish SMT too. And we showed bullish SMT right before the news came out, and that's crucial. That gives an idea of direction. So that gives you a hint, like, okay, the news is going to come out and we'll go bullish or go bullishly on it. So potentially you could buy dips or have a stop long entry up above. Okay, so in this case, this is I wanted to show the Asia low, and it provided some SMT here for bullish SMT. versus ES and YM, they had the weaker assets. Okay, and that gives you an idea. Okay, if you want to go long, if you want to take along on your bullish sequential SMT, go with the stronger asset. So in this case, it would be NQ. All right, let's keep going. Okay, so now we're getting towards the highs. At this case, you would want to look at the 1 hour time frame. So you want to pay attention to these highs on the left. Just in case we have a bearish SMT form, you would want to find 1 hour closure up above on, so you'd want to look at the 1 hour chart to compare. If you can get a closure above and then not have a closure above on another asset, that would be bearish weekly cycle sequential SMT. So on the weekly cycle, it would be between Q4 and Friday, and it would only be valid if you get closure above and then not closure above on the other asset. And then wait for a PSP candle on either the 1 hour or the 15-minute to mark a top. Okay, so we'll keep that in mind. We'll switch back to the 15-minute. We are getting up on this 90-minute cycle Q3, so we will switch to a 5-minute. Okay. All right, so one thing we notice here is that NQ dipped into this fair value gap while ES did not. That potentially could be a buy for ES, and it formed a PSP candle. So this would be a buyable PSP for me. This here would be a buy. NQ being the higher, the stronger asset, then we could kind of see where we go. You could take partials at a new high and yesterday's high. We're coming up on, right here's the open of the day. So maybe a dip and rip, but let's just see. I might get back to the Asia. I would think that the Asia true open would be safe here, but let's keep going. Okay, so we got below the PSB by a tick. Maybe we made a double bottom. And look, this fair value gap still held up. And in this case, we are not really forming a bearish SMT since we broke the high of all. Let's keep going. Okay, so then we got new high of day. Now we need to focus on the 1 hour time frame. Once we're getting above this high, let's see how the hour closes. Okay, both close above, so that's, but YM did not. So this is a weekly cycle bearish SMT. This is showing that YM is the weaker asset. So if you wanted to short YM, you could do that. Okay. And I would wait for an hourly PSB candle. So that would make like a green NQ candle versus a red YM candle. We might have got that here, and that could have been fine. So at candle closure, you could possibly short already or look for a good entry on a lower time frame. Okay, so we could see a PSB candle. Copy this. Okay, so this is a PSB candle. We could maybe look at the 50% of this and find our entry here on this next candle. And look for either down here or new low of day. But let's keep going. Okay, you get the new low of day there. That's fine. ES and NQ are still up here. So that trade is done for YM, which was the weaker asset. And these are fine. Let's just see if we get more sequential SMT, which we are seeing. Look, so here we have YM making new lows. So it's not sequential SMT because it goes Q2. This is Q2 and then Q4. So that is SMT. So potentially this action right here could provide more lift to NQ. And let's just see kind of what we do. Let's go on the 5-minute. So if you're looking at the 90-minute cycle, then you want to look at the 5-minute time frame for candle closure and confirmation of the SMT. So we got some PSP candles down here. This could potentially be a low for YM, and it's providing bounce. Now YM's not the stronger asset, so you wouldn't really want to long YM. You would want to long more like ES or NQ. And so we'll get rid of these. We'll kind of stop giving examples pretty soon. Now we're in the PM session or the afternoon session. If you're going to compare the daily cycles, which is Q3 and Q4, you want to go back to the 15-minute time frame. Let's see what we get. So we do get candle closure below. That is a bullish SMT. Okay, so this is a bullish SMT. This is a PSP candle. I mean, potentially you could buy it already. Now we are pretty extended. We're above yesterday's highs, so that's up to you. But I just want to demonstrate that this is a bullish sequential SMT. So NQ is the stronger asset. That would be the one to long. Let's go drill into a 5-minute time frame. All right, you got some PSP candles down here. These could be buyable. Let's just see kind of how price reacts to them. So you'd probably want to buy it in the 50%. Yeah, price does a little bounce from there. Not that big of a deal. You're extended, so you bought here, you might have taken profit, 40 points above. We took a double bottom on ES, so that's also another potential bounce spot. And we did run into a sequential SMT here. If you look here on the 5-minute, here I'll turn on the historical historical quarterly theory cycles, and you'll see here to here, that is a bullish sequential SMT. NQ once again is showing that it's stronger. NQ is the one to buy, and you can buy this touch into the PSP. Okay, and that's about it. So that's some examples of how to look at certain time frames for your certain different cycles. So again, if you're looking at the weekly cycle, which has every day is a different quarter, you want to look at the 1-hour candle body closure. If you're looking at the daily cycles, which is the 6-hour sessions, look at the 15-minute candle body closures. If you're looking at the 90-minute time frame or the 90-minute cycles, look for 5-minute candle body closures and PSP candles. And that's it. I hope this helps.